Hey there guys, it's Tina and I am back and I am feeling very fierce right now. Like I am glowing for the gods and I am wearing leopard print. I'm doing the most right now. But I wanted to go ahead and share this look with you guys. I posted, I'm not gonna say it's the same exact look, but it is pretty much the same look with a change in the lower lash line. And I will link my Instagram down below. You should definitely be following me along. It's just the fancy face. And I post outfits of the day, and just recently I posted a look with this eyeshadow that I was wearing, and I wore this look and people are like, can you do a tutorial on it? So that's what we are doing today. It's a very simple but impactful look. It's smoky, it's pretty. I changed it up a little bit so the lower lash line is a little bit more colorful, a little bit more bold. Nude lip, glowy skin. We're doing it, we're having fun, and I am playing with the Impulsive palette from Melt Cosmetics. If you haven't seen this, this is what it looks like. Let me get the little sleeves out. It's a palette that is a little bit unassuming. You look at it, you're like, whatever. But it is a really nice palette and you can get really beautiful looks from it. And there are trios for you to just dabble in. It gives you a little bit of guide, so you can use each trio together or you can mix and match, which is what we did here today. And you can get really gorgeous looks from it. I think these eyeshadows perform really well. Just make sure you keep the sleeves because it's a really clunky kind of design where it has steps and then the eyeshadows fold over because it's a double-sided palette. And it's bulky, but it is beautiful. It performs beautifully, and I'm gonna show you how to get this look. So without much further talking, because apparently I'm a chatty catty today. Catty? That don't make no kind of sense. It's Kathy, right? So I'm a chatty Kathy. Lord have mercy. Just don't pay me no mind. Just let's go ahead and jump right into this video. Alright guys, so as usual, we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. Don't mind this redness that is going on right now. Woo! I never get red, right? But I was just resting my hand on my face and that's what that is. So don't be concerned for me. All is okay. I'm gonna go in with some moisturizer. I am using my Sunday Riley Tidal Brightening Enzyme Water Cream, which I have been loving. It's such a beautiful lightweight moisturizer. It's great for my oily skin and it smells really good too. So that's got it in my eye. Jesus, Lord have mercy. So that burns, and I'm gonna cry a little bit and oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That is not okay. Give me a second, I'll be back. I was literally just attacked by that moisturizer and I don't know how to feel because that was uncalled for. I didn't do anything to Sunday Riley, okay? And so anyway, we're gonna power through because dedication, okay? Dedication. This eye is burning. It's not like ridiculously burning, but yeah, it's not happy with me. So you know what? I'm doing this for you guys. Okay, so I need a trophy or something because my eye, like, oh my god. I need a certificate of participation. Maybe that will work. Yeah, anyway. I'm applying my eyeshadow primer. This is to prevent creasing of my eyeshadow throughout wear. I always apply an eyeshadow primer even if I'm not wearing makeup because my eyelids get really greasy, so it's kind of like sealing in the oils, so it's giving me a barrier so those oils just get away from me. So anti-aging primer potion from Urban Decay. Now I'm going in with somewhat of a eyeshadow base and a concealer all in one. So I'm gonna use my Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Liquid Concealer. This is the shade Deep Warm, and I'm just gonna apply that under my brow but also on my lid, and this is gonna act again as an eyeshadow base and primer. I mean, I already had the primer down, so it's really just the base, and it's going to give our eyeshadow something to stick to. So to create a sharp line under my brow, I'm going to grab my Anastasia Beverly Hills number 18 concealer brush, and we're just making sure we get right up underneath the brow and crisp up that line that we already created with our brow pencil, but we're just making sure it's really sharp. I know not a lot of people are into this sharp brow look anymore, the Instagram brow, but I love a good sharp brow shape. I love when it looks really clean and neat, especially when I'm going in with eyeshadow. If I'm just going about my day, like just regular every day, then I don't do this, but if I'm going in with eyeshadow, that's when I would do this. I'm just gonna blend this out with my e.l.f. Cosmetics sponge, and it's a dampened sponge, and that's gonna just smooth everything out. I think, let's go in with a little bit more of the concealer just to make sure we have even coverage, and make sure I get on the inner tear duct especially to cancel out any darkness. So this concealer is obviously a skin tone, so it's not going to add any brightness to the lids or anything. So it's just gonna even out the skin tone on my lids, cover up any veins, and then brighten up any darkness that I have, which I usually have on the inner tear duct. So just blend that out, and we're gonna go in with our eyeshadow palette. So this is the Impulsive palette from Melt Cosmetics. Now I originally wasn't gonna pick this up because when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, it's bulky. I don't like the gimmick of the step design of the palette. It just looks too much, and I was afraid of the eyeshadows mixing when you close the palette. But they have these little inserts that I don't usually lose them, so I'm really good at keeping track of those. But it wasn't really calling to me until I saw it in store, and the colors just blew me away. And then when I swatched it, I was like, oh my god, this is really beautiful. Now the trouble with Melt Cosmetics, their other palettes, it's Smoke Sessions and like the Gemini palette, the shimmers in them tend to poof up and kind of crumble in the palette. So I was skeptical about the formulation of the shimmers in this palette. I was like, are they going to be crumbly? Did they finally fix the formula? And they did. In this palette, you see they're sitting like any other shimmer eyeshadow. So I think they figured out how to press them, how to navigate like the formulation to make it really work well in a palette style. We're gonna go in with a ton of shades, all right? We're just gonna build and mix and blend because I like to give that gradient effect. And since we have a whole palette, let's go for it. So I'm gonna start out with this kind of red trio here, which is like the Sunset Trio. I'm gonna start out with 2012 and then go in with Rule Breaker, which is more of an orangey, like a muted orange, and then this one is like a mustard yellow. So I'm gonna go in with a Sonia G Detail Pro Brush, which is just a large blending brush. This is my preferred type of brush for applying crease colors because it allows me to diffuse the color over a broad area. So in my crease, this is kind of just my transition shade. This is not really gonna need great color payoff. It's just giving me a wash of color, and it's gonna give me that warmth in the crease area. So I'm very lightly picking up color. These are pigmented, so you're gonna get good color payoff, so you don't have to pick up too much product. So I'm barely like rubbing my brush into the color and then just puffing it in the crease using windshield wiper motions, and that's gonna give us that diffused effect. Now I'm not trying to pack on this color too much at all. And now I'm gonna go in with that orangey shade, which is Rule Breaker, and we're gonna try to keep that a little bit lower in the crease. The yellow we kind of buffed upwards onto the brow bone. With the orange, I'm keeping it a little bit lower, and I'm not gonna go in and build this up too much. So I'm just gonna really blend and buff this in so it gives that little pop of orange, you know, as you do, because everything is a warm crease these days. So just lightly blend back and forth. Again, you don't need a lot of this color, and it's really pigmented, so you want to be careful just to buff and blend this out. So I'm using circular motions, windshield wiper motions to build that up. That's a beautiful start. Now we're gonna go into the other trio right below that, where we have Dream Big and Boss Lady, and these are the two matte shades we're gonna use. So I'm gonna go in with Dream Big, which is like a really rusty orange brown, and then Boss Lady is a deep burgundy. With these shades, I'm gonna switch my brush to a Sonia Kashuk blending brush. This is the orange shade Dream Big. You can see it's extremely pigmented. I just whistled. So this color doesn't need a lot, just pick it up. And I'm using this on the outer V outer crease. You see I'm using circular motions to buff that in and pull it kind of inwards onto the outer half of the lid. And I'm just using slight packing motions, which is just to press it in, and then using a little bit of like buffing zigzag motions to blend out the edge of that. And because we have the yellow and the orange down in the crease, that should blend out pretty well. Now let's go in with Boss Lady, which is that dark burgundy, and we're doing the same thing. So this is gonna give us that blown out effect. So it goes from a dark deep outer V and then goes upwards into that yellow. So it's gonna give us that blown out effect, which is really beautiful, especially with matte shades. It gives you that airbrushed effect. And what I'm doing is cleaning off my brush on my towel here. So I clean off the edge of the brush, and then I lightly do back and forth zigzag motions. That helps to blend out the edge. It diffuses it. You can use circular motions as well. That cleans up the edge of that eyeshadow. And you can just sit here and do this as long as needed to really diffuse out the color. And I think that's the issue with a lot of eyeshadow looks like that just don't come together, and you're like, why doesn't it look so great? Because you have to spend time blending. And I know on Instagram and YouTube where you just see these 60-second videos, or you see these really edited videos, you think, oh, I don't need to blend that much because they go from 0 to blended real quick. No, spend the time to blend. That's how you're gonna get the really beautiful finish. It's gonna look really airbrushed, and it's gonna look really flawless because the time was spent to blend and build up color. So I'm just building up the color and blending out the edges. I'm gonna go back in with the larger blending brush now that we used for like the yellow and the orange, and we're gonna go around the edge. So this is a much softer brush, right? And it's larger, so it's gonna really help to diffuse the color, and you can just use that around the edge. You do buffing motions, windshield wiper motions, and that is gonna soften the edge of the color and make it look even more airbrushed and flawless. We're gonna come back and finish, like add a little bit more depth, but right now let's go in with the shimmer colors on the lid. So we did our outer V, we did our crease work. Let's go ahead and pop on the lid shade. So I'm gonna use No Regrets. This is a beautiful shade. It's one of the most interesting shades in the palette. I'm using a Real Techniques Expert Concealer brush. This is just a synthetic eyeshadow brush. I would normally use my Rite Aid eyeshadow brush for this, but this also does kind of the same effect. So I'm gonna lay down that color dry, and dry it does look very beautiful, but this is just my starter layer. So I'm gonna use the dry shade to blend in with the outer V, and I hold my skin taut so I can really buff the edge of the dry shade into the outer V color, because that's a matte. Transitioning into a shimmer, you're gonna need some help with the blending. Then once I have that down, I'll go in and dampen my brush with a little bit of my primer water from Smashbox. Pick up the shade again, and now we're gonna really build up the intensity. So the shimmer shade gets a little bit more shimmery. It looks a little bolder, a little bit more intense. It's called foiling. That's the technique. You foil the shimmer shade because you dampen it, and it really picks up on the intensity. So I'm gonna apply that color now. And this shade, as beautiful as it is, it's, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I love this shade as an all over wash of color, but it is a little bit flaky, so expect fallout, especially if you use it dry. Now, like I said, we're gonna go in and layer up since we have a whole palette to work with. So I'm gonna use Warehouse Party, which is another beautiful shimmer shade. This is still on a damp brush, and I'm gonna layer this over the other shade, and that's gonna give it just this dimension that is really gorgeous. Now you can use these shades alone, but since you have a whole palette, just go ahead and layer them, mix them up. All the planes, disrespectful, all the planes decide that they want to come out today. What is going on? Is there something happening? There is an airport like a couple of miles from here, and I don't know what's happening, but they feel like everybody needs to fly today. So we're gonna layer that color up, and it's gonna give the look a little bit more of a pinky hue, which, gorgeous. We're not done though, hold up, because this look for me was all about layering and playing with color and dimension to create my own special effects. So I'm gonna go in with Go Getter, which is the shimmery red. We're not gonna pick up too much, all right, that looks a lot, but not too much. and we're gonna just lightly touch it over the shade that we have on the lid. Clean the brush off because I don't want all that pigment, and I'm gonna mix it in with the other shades so it gives a little bit of a red, but not too much. It just gives a slight hint of red to the eyeshadow, which ties it in with the outer V and the orange in the crease. It makes it a little bit warmer, and that is absolutely beautiful. All right, so there we have the lid shade. Gorgeous, right? Now we're gonna go back into the outer V color. So I'm picking up the burgundy, and I'm just gonna buff it now using the large crease brush, because we want to make sure that the depth is still on the outer V. And we're just gonna blend that in and build it up so it looks nice and seamless. So it's a really smoky outer V. I cleaned off the blending brush, and now we're just gonna go around the edge. So we added the color, but we still wanna make sure that we have our blend. And you see, even though you're not getting the orange and the yellow in the crease, it still gives that blown out effect. And it looks like, wow, we did a lot of work. Let's not discount the work that we put in, okay? We did do a lot of work. Now, highlight. Any highlight that you have will work. There's not really a brow highlight shade in the palette, so I'm just gonna go in with my Sugarpill eyeshadow in heart-shaped cookie. Pop that under the brow. Blend it downwards with my MAC 252. And this is gonna also help to fade out and buff out the edge of the crease color and the outer V color. So if it went a little bit too high up, this shade is gonna help to kind of soften the edges a bit. Now, like I said, the key to any of these looks is to just make sure you keep blending. So I'm just gonna blend a little bit more and make sure it looks great from up close and then from a distance. I have a mirror in front of me that's a larger mirror that is, you know, normal magnification. Then I have my simple human mirror, which is magnified and more up close, so I can see that the blend up close is also really seamless. So that's what we'll have on the lids. Now, I think I want to do a little bit of inner tear duct work, so we're gonna use Pop-In Bottles right here, which is a shimmery gold, but I'm not taking too much on. I'm using the golden triangle brush from Delium Tools. This is number 767, which is just it's called the round blender. And I'm popping that on the inner tear duct. It's not a loud color. It's not overly shimmery. It's not really bright, but it does brighten up that inner tear duct and give us that, you know, that extra pop right there. If there's any fallout, just clean that up with a makeup wipe. There is some glitter that's like falling all over my skin, so let's just clean that up a little bit. Now I want to use some of these products that I was sent by CoverGirl. So this is their True Blend collection. They have, of course, the foundation, concealers, they sent me some powders and some brow products and even a base. So you think? Yeah, let's go ahead and use some of these. So we're gonna start out with one of the primers they included. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business Skin Primer with Kaolin Clay. They have a hydrating one as well. This is moisturizing. I'm gonna use the mattifying one with the clay in there. Let's see how this works, because you know your girl has very oily skin. Oh, and it comes out, it doesn't come out, I thought it was gonna come out gray because of the color on it, but that's just on the packaging. So this is kind of a cream primer. I'm gonna apply that on my cheek area and around my nose. Put a little bit in my forehead and a little bit on my chin here. I'm actually gonna let that sit on my skin a little bit to see what it does, because it feels very moisturizing. It doesn't have a silicone feel. It doesn't feel drying at all, but I don't know, like I wanna see what happens with it. Now for the foundation, they sent me T70, which is caramel, which looks about right, but I have other shades as well from the previous launch that they had sent just the foundations, but let's see if T70 works right now. And it looks okay. I did get a 10, so I was worried that it wouldn't work, but that actually looks pretty good. It's a little bit neutral as well. It looks like a little bit olive, because if you see it next to T80, T80 definitely looks a little bit more orangey. So This is a little bit neutral, a little bit yellow, which actually worked pretty well for me. They have, I believe, 50 shades of this, and I had swatched all of them. I might do a video showing all the shades swatched on my arm so you can see what they look like. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, because it's good to have a reference for a drugstore foundation, right? Because you want to make sure that, hey, you're not breaking the bank when you buy your foundation. Sometimes you want to have a drugstore option that you can wear for everyday, like regular wear, and then you might have a higher end one for special occasions. I personally just use whatever looks great, whatever I feel like, and if I find a drugstore version that works nicely, then I'm gonna use it. Now this is giving me more like a light to medium coverage, because I can see right here it's not really covering as well as I would like, so I'm gonna apply a little bit more. Maybe I should use a sponge, since with a sponge you'll get more coverage. So we'll just use a damp sponge on the second layer to give better coverage. So this is definitely not full coverage. For me, I would say this is a light to medium coverage. It doesn't feel tight, even though it says it's mattifying. It doesn't feel heavy. You know, some of those mattifying foundations can feel heavy on your skin, like you definitely feel that you're wearing foundation. This doesn't feel heavy at all, but it's definitely more of a light to medium coverage, which I get a little bit more coverage when I apply it with the sponge. But again, don't expect crazy coverage from this, because I'm not getting like intense coverage. This might actually work well too for somebody in high school or college that you just want something quick and light, and of course drugstore prices work. So it looks nice, it looks skin-like, it's a little bit dewy, but it says it's mattifying, so I'm gonna wait for it to set down a little bit. But it looks pretty nice on my skin so far, so I'm happy with it. Now they sent me 3 concealer shades. We have Golden Caramel, which is definitely Golden Caramel, Warm Honey, which looks like a lighter beige, and then just Caramel. So Golden Caramel and Caramel together, you'll see that Golden Caramel definitely has more yellow to it. Which one should I use? I'm gonna use Golden Caramel because I feel like I'm a little bit more golden. Alright, it has a large doe foot, similar to the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, which it looks like a lot of brands try to copy the doe foot. It smells very clinical. It smells like concealer, what can I say? Apply that under my eyes. Maybe I'll use a little bit around my mouth as well, where we have some darkness. Let's see how that works on the skin, not just under the eyes. It doesn't smell good at all. It actually look at me smelling the tube. Really, Tina? It smells, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't smell good. But then again, do we really need fragrance in our products? But it still doesn't smell pleasant. CoverGirl went cruelty-free. So that's another great thing about the brand, that if you're looking for a cruelty-free option, that's in the drugstore, CoverGirl is now one of those brands. And they've done a rebranding with their products as well. The packaging has changed a lot. You'll see the white and black stripes, which I actually find aesthetically pleasing. I think it's a nice packaging. It doesn't look cheap or anything. It just looks like simple, easy packaging. And this concealer is blending out pretty well. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And it's covering pretty decently. Okay, I like that so far. That looks really nice. I think I like how the concealer looks more than the actual foundation. The concealer, so far, definitely a hit. Now they have 2 loose powders that they sent as well. So we have translucent and a banana. Are there other shades to this? I don't know. We're gonna try the banana one because, you know, yeah, it's something to do. Oh, it has a little puffy puff in here. I don't use those. It is the regular sifter type jar. It actually looks like my La Prairie powder. And I'm going to use a Refer brush. They sent these to me as well to try out. This is a number 4 Refer brush. And this is like a contour brush, but I'm gonna use it under the eyes because why not? And oh, this is really soft, so it feels really comfortable, especially under the eyes, right? Okay, this powder is definitely brightening. It looks really smooth as well. Okay, CoverGirl, let me see. Okay, I'm liking this so far. It seems to be mattifying as well. It's a little bit too bright for all over the face for me. Wow, okay, it looks really nice. I like that, but we're gonna need to blend around that with just regular face powder. So I'm gonna go in with my Sephora Micro Smooth Baked Face Compact. The shade I use is Tan, and this is my Smashbox Kabuki brush, and just blend around the edge of that color, so we'll kind of temper that light color down a bit, even though it still looks really light under my eyes. So if you're darker than me, you're gonna need to watch out, because that's a little bit, yeah, that's a little bit intense there, sweetie. It doesn't look crazy though, does it? It doesn't look crazy, but that powder is nice. Okay, so far I think the powder is really nice. The foundation is decent for what it's worth, but the concealer is definitely, I really do like the concealer so far. They have some brow gels in here as well. So we have medium, a deep, a light, and a clear. Which one shall we use? Let's use deep because my brows are dark. These are called the Easy Breezy Brow Volumizing Brow Gel. So it volumizes, fills, and defines brows. Okay, all right, so let's see how this goes. It has a little tiny spoolie, okay. And okay, it's adding a little bit of color, but it's not too pigmented, thank God, because some of these brow gels that have pigment to them, they just get too intense and they deposit too much color, and you're stuck with trying to blend them out, especially on your skin. So this is more of a sheer coverage. So see, it deposits a little bit of color, but I can blend it out easily. Okay, come through, CoverGirl. That's pretty decent. Okay, I like that. Now in the original look that I posted on Instagram, I pulled the dark burgundy down on the lower lash line. And for this, I guess I'll start out with that, but I also wanted to incorporate another color. So I'm just grabbing that on a MAC 242. So we're using Boss Lady, that dark burgundy, and just buffing it right along the lower lash line. So I was thinking about using the purple, which is cross faded, but maybe I want to use Tipsy, which is the blue. What do we think? Yeah, I want to use the blue to add a little bit more contrast. So let's dampen my brush a little bit because I don't want this shade like flaking into my eye. And I'm gonna grab that shade Tipsy and run, oh my God, that's pretty. And just run it on that inner and middle of the lower lash line right there. Oh my God, that is really pretty. So I didn't do this in the original look, so you can just continue to run the burgundy all the way across, but why not mix it up with different shades? It has like pinky glitter in it as well, pinky and purple, so it looks really interesting. And I'm using the edge of the brush just to buff out the edge so it doesn't look like a stark line. That is gorgeous. Okay, my eyes are a little bit red because of the moisturizer situation and because I got some of that eyeshadow in my eye. Are you praying for me? Because you should. You should be. And for the lower waterline, let's go ahead and keep it blue. So I'm going in with this cream eyeliner from Sephora. This is the colorful liner and shadow from the Sephora collection called My Boyfriend's Jeans, and this is number 39. That blue never ceases to amaze me, just how pretty it is. I definitely recommend getting this liner. If you have brown eyes like me, it really intensifies brown eyes, and I mean, whatever. If you love blue, it's gonna look phenomenal. Let's go ahead and do mascara. Are we doing lashes? I did lashes in the look that I posted, but I'm not sure what we're gonna do today. Should I use the lashes? They were really simple lashes and they did help to accentuate the eyes a little bit more. So, okay, we're gonna do lashes. So this is just my Too Faced Better Than Sex. And for the lower lashes, we're gonna use our MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. That helps the lashes to stand out on the lower lash line so they don't get lost in the sauce on the lower lash line, because those shadows can really like hide your lashes, and then it's not as impactful as it is with mascara. So there we have it. The lashes I use are these from Miss. They're the 3D volume lash in the style M311. And they're just a very subtle lash that adds volume. Alright, so the lashes are on, and as you can see, it gives a little bit more impact without being too overwhelming, because I feel a big lash will just overwhelm the look completely. But since we have lashes on, I'm gonna go in with a liquid liner. This is the Urban Decay Perversion Waterproof Fine Point Pen. This is a black liquid liner. They sent this to me, and it is a brush tip, so it's not the typical felt tips that you see from other brands. So I'm not creating a full-on wing. I'm just outlining the tops of the lash, so it makes it a little bit more seamless, and I can cover the lash band as well. But it also gives a little bit of a slight smokier effect to the lash line. Alright, I'm gonna go put on an outfit, and I'll be right back to finish up the rest of the face. Alright guys, let's go ahead and finish up the face. So for the cheeks, I kept it pretty neutral when I wore that look, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm using my Tarte Exposed Amazonian Clay Blush, and this is my Smashbox blush brush. This is just a neutral blush that gives a little bit of flush to the cheeks without being too intense, which is what I like to do, especially if I'm wearing like intense eyeshadow. I just want to downplay the cheeks but still give it some color. And this blush brush is just, I already raved about it in a previous Get Ready With Me, and I will keep raving about it because it's such a beautiful blush brush. Now the skin, I like this. This actually looks pretty good, so kudos to you, CoverGirl. Good for you. Now they also sent me a couple of their highlighters. So this is the True Blend Super Stunner Hyper Glow. So the shade that I'm gonna use is Rose Quartz. It looks a little bit more like up my alley as far as depth goes, because it is a rose, like a rosy nude. I'm gonna use my Allure Collection brush. I don't know if they have restocked these on their website as yet. I know they did a brand name change, so they're probably restamping the handles, because right now it says the old brand name, which was Envision. But this brush is beautiful for shimmery highlighters such as this that I'm a little bit skeptical about. Like, I'm like, hold up, I don't know how that's gonna work on my skin, because I don't like a blinding highlighter. I like something that blends into my skin. And this looks really great. It just adds a little bit of glow without being too intense. And I like that it's like a nude shimmer. It's like a nudie rose. So it looks like that, right? So you see it just blends into my skin, giving it like a nice glow, but a beautiful finish without being too intense. So that works great for me. Let's do a little bronzer. I'm gonna go in with the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. This is the shade Caramel, which is one of their new shades. I think this is the darkest shade they added. Maybe they added another one, but this one is great for my skin tone. And I'm just gonna apply it to the temples and to like my hairline area. Just give myself a little bit of bronze, a little bit on my neck, and a little bit in the hollows of my cheeks. Not too much. This is a Morphe E2 brush. I don't do too much with bronzer, but I give like an all over flush, and this bronzer is actually a pretty nice color. Are we glad? Are we glad? Are we happy? I'm happy. I'm gonna go in with a nude lipstick. This is from YSL. It's the Rouge Volupte number 3. It's just a nudie shade. I love this because it's like my lips but better. So it's a really simple nude lip. Don't you love this? This is one of my favorite nude lip colors. It just looks perfect on my lip. I don't know. Like, maybe that's just me. You know what? Let me contour my nose a little bit with this bronzer, because my nose looks like it's hiding in this makeup. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit along the edge of my nose, like the bridge, not the edge, the bridge, the edge of my nose. Lord have mercy. And this is just a NARS brush. This is so old, I don't even know if they still make it, but I'm just adding a little bit of shade in so it gives me more of a defined bridge. And I'll just blend that out and use my finger a little bit to blend it out because I don't want it to be too harsh. Just in the like the contour of my nose. Okay, that looks I'm like not too crazy because we don't want to do crazy. I think that looks good. Okay, now with this lip color, I love to put a gloss on with any lip color, to be honest. Let's be honest. This is one of my favorite things of the summer. This is a juice infused lip oil from Ulta Beauty. Oh my god. It just really adds this beautiful juicy look to the lips without being crazy. It's not a gloss, so it's not sticky at all. And doesn't that look pretty? Oh my god. Alright. I am doing the most right now, and I think I'm going to do the most. Let me pop this ring off and do a little bit of something that I told you guys I would share. Okay, whoa. I'm not trying to flash you. This is something that I wanted to share with you guys earlier in the summertime, but I didn't get around to it. It's showing you how to get, you know, you wear these off the shoulder tops or you wear sundresses, you wear a strapless thing, and you want to add a little bit of glow. So what I've been using is from Vaseline. It is the Intensive Care Cocoa Radiant Vitalizing Body Gel Oil for healthy glowy skin. So it has pure cocoa butter in it, but it's a gel oil, right? And obviously it's going to give you a really shiny oil finish. So I'm going to apply it to this side. And to boot, it smells really good. So I'm just going to apply this right here because I'm wearing an off-the-shoulder outfit. This, by the way, I'll show you this at the end of the video as well so you can see the overall look. But you see how it adds that, oh my god, it adds that glow and it smells divine. So I add that. You see that shine, right? Okay, that was a little bit much, but you see the difference between this side and this side? Now, let's go ahead. I just showed you my bra, but that's fine as long as it wasn't a nipple. We'll be all right. So I just apply this all over my skin. Obviously, I wouldn't do this with clothes on. There are other body oils and stuff on the market, like the Neutrogena body oil. I love that for my legs. I use that a lot. But this I found just gives a really beautiful glow to the skin. And like I said, it smells divine. So that's what you'll do first, right? To get the overall shine so you look nice and healthy. And since we're already using CoverGirl products, they sent me the 3 highlighters. I use this one on my face, but I'm going to use a glowier one on my skin. So this one is the shade Gilded Glory. So it's a yellow gold and it looks like it has a lot of sparkle in it. Let's see. I'm using my It Cosmetics for Ulta brush for this. So what you do is you just apply the highlighter all over the skin. Now you've seen people do this where they apply highlighter on the skin, but to get that Fenty body lava look that is just way too pricey for me, and like the other body oils that you've seen on the market with the shimmer in them, don't even go out and do that. Like, get the body oil from Vaseline. This is at your Target stores. And use a highlighter that you already have in your collection. Maybe you have a highlighter that's just too loud for your face, you don't like it, or you have one that's just too glittery. A glittery one will work perfect for this. And you just apply it like body shimmer on your skin. So you don't have to invest in those body oil products that are just, when are you gonna wear them? You know what I mean? But the highlighter, you already have it in your collection. The body oil gel is a body product, so you can use that any day of the week, any day of the year. And this gives you the same effect as using one of those glow products, but for like a fraction of the price. Like, look at this. What? Do I look moist or what? I look moist. I look hydrated. I look like I'm living my best hot girl summer life. What? Girl. Like I said, I'm going to show you this outfit as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this look. Hopefully I did it justice for those of you who wanted to see it. It's a really fun look, like I said. And I did take liberty by adding a little extra zhuzh on the lower lash line because why not? Like, come on. And yeah, I think it turned out great. Again, this lip color, I've been living for this lip color. It's so good. But I am gonna go ahead and leave a full list of all the products used and mentioned down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. Those links happen to be affiliate links, which will take you to either the Ulta or Sephora website, which is where I normally do my online shopping. And did you know that Ulta now offers a buy online and pick up in-store option? I know, I actually utilized it like a couple of weeks ago and I was like, excuse me, thank you so much, I appreciate this. I was buying some shampoo or something and I couldn't be bothered with like going in store and all of this, so I ordered it online and I could pick it up in store after work, and I was like, this is perfect. So check out that option as well. But I wanted to mention that with affiliate links, I will get a small sales commission if you purchase through any of my links. Now that doesn't change the retail price or anything, it just gives you a way to easily support the channel because I do put it right back into the content that I create for you guys. So that's an easy way to support a content creator. Just shop through their links. That does give them a kickback without actually costing you anything. But if you're not okay with that, that's completely fine. Shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. And as usual, I'm gonna go ahead and leave links to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, where you should definitely be following me along. We have fun over there. We post memes, we have a good time, we laugh at stuff. Don't take any of it too seriously, just laugh along and have a good time. And like I said, I'm gonna show you the overall outfit because I am on my way to Brooklyn to my mom. I am doing too much right now because I really don't have plans. I am just getting dressed to just do the most. So anyway, I will show you the outfit and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.